What's up? Hey guys, welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
This is called a cold open.
And we are.
Matt hates cold opens.
I don't hate them.
He said, and I read in his diary, I snuck into his house and I got your diary out. Sorry. It's a breach of trust. But he said in the diary, ooh, I hate cold opens. He said that I don't have any funny bits and that it's a waste of his time.
My diary, I might have to defer to Nolan on this one. What is the opposite of like my struggles in German?
Oh, geez.
Because that would be the title of my diary.
Dein Ruhe is your peace.
Yeah, that's the title of mine.
My piece.
His life is going pretty good right now, and we're, this is coming to a close on, a month of straight horror film watching. I'm ready to be done. I'm glad that this is the last episode for the year for this. I will say we're going out on a high note. I gave out a lot of high scores.
Have you watched a lot of horror movies this month?
I haven't really watched, well, I guess more than usual, but I don't really seek them out that often. I've started to a bit more since you've been talking about this whole challenge that you've given yourself. But normally they aren't very much on my radar, especially the gory ones, which is kind of why I went with the one I did. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know, forcing Steven to
Pretend
to enjoy listening to me talk about Terrifier.
Well, if we're going to get into the movies, do you want to do the intro?
Welcome to the final 31 for 31 episode of Matt Talks Media. I am here in the studio with my favorite co-host, Steven Doughty.
Hey, guys.
And I don't know, possibly my next favorite co-host, Dr. Nolan Meditz. Welcome.
Hey,
honorific and all.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, Steven doesn't have an honorific. That's why he doesn't get one.
Yeah, well.
You got to write that dissertation.
Get on it.
Yeah. So, Nolan.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the same thing I did to Steven when he first appeared on this podcast. Give me that, that little elevator pitch. Who are you? Introduce yourself to our ravenous listeners.
All right. I am irrelevant. So my name is Nolan Meditz. I teach writing in the Department of Language and Literature. Freshman composition, creative writing, mostly poetry, linguistics, grammar, which they just added to my rotation this semester. It's going pretty well. And I'm really excited to be here and to talk with you all because I love you guys. And this is a really cool idea with this podcast. So,
and we love you too, Nolan. We're super happy to have you just to have a third voice of reason when it comes to talking about media.
Have you ever written horror poetry? I assume that's a thing. I mean, Edgar Allan Poe is a horrifying thing.
Yeah. So there's Robert Burns wrote some based on kind of like Scottish folklore. And yeah, I mean, there's obviously Edgar Allan Poe. But yeah, I did write one about the Wendigo, which
Abominable Snowman, right?
It's Yeti.
Oh,
okay. Wendigo is like a Native American
abominable
spirit.
Snowman.
Oh no, it's about. Like,
it's not abominable. Abominable?
No, it's not abominable.
It's scary.
Okay, it's frightening. Yeah.
But and it's not related to the snow.
It is related in some cultures. It's related to harsh winters, and what would happen is legends and folk tales vary, but the one that I heard that I became more familiar with was that during an especially harsh winter when food was scarce, there would be this spirit that would inhabit those who engaged in cannibalism, and it made them ravenous and very aggressive. And in some cultures, that person was treated as having this forbidden knowledge that didn't necessarily like make them evil. Like when they're depicted, it's often as a kind of malicious spirit, and obviously it's a terrible thing that it's connected to, right?
And often when you see them, they're kind of like deer people.
Yeah.
Like,
and like emaciated and like almost like a who was that guy? Like a Giacometti sculpture where it's like really spindly and but like add antlers.
And it's very dependent on the culture. So like Algonquin and like, the northern tribes, it was the Wendigo, but like if you look at like southwestern, like Navajo, like that's where the Skinwalker comes from.
Yeah.
So it seems like I need to take some notes.
Yeah. They're actually, I don't know how well received or how good this film was, but I guess keeping on theme, there was a horror movie recently. I think it was called Antlers that dealt with the Wendigo myth.
That sounds familiar to me.
I can't speak to its quality or how faithful they were to the indigenous folklore, but I have heard of that movie. There's also another one that's Ravenous, I think it's called, with Guy Pearce.
Oh.
And yeah.
So, Matt, I got you down for yes on ghosts.
Yeah.
And irresponsible if you don't believe in UFOs.
No, it wasn't UFOs specifically, it's just aliens.
Aliens, right. Aliens definitely exist. Whether or not they've mastered interstellar space travel, that's a maybe for you.
Yeah, I mean,
Ouija boards seemed like a maybe for you. Where does Wendigo fall on the list of real or not real? More real than ghosts? Less real than witches?
I don't know. I think they fall kind of in the same line because the Wendigo comes from like, it's like a religious perspective of like, the Native Americans or the indigenous tribes. Okay. So it could offend somebody to say it doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, saying anything doesn't exist could offend somebody. Twizzlers don't exist.
I've heard, well, they obviously do because you can go down the street and buy them right now. I don't know. I will say I've heard a lot of like creepy stories about things that happen in the Appalachian Mountains. Like if you're walking in there and you just hear whistling,
like the blue people.
Yeah, you don't respond. You just keep going. I'm just gonna say this overarching theme. Like, I think there are supernatural things out there.
Right, but we're pinning it down.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I can personally pin it down.
What about you, Nolan? Yay or nay on the Wendigo?
I'll say this, in writing that very brief poem, that myth was often like, it was used, I think, by Americans, and people in power to look at indigenous people and say, and other them, like, and give them give like Americans a reason to be wary. And I think it was applied that way when there was no real care or consideration for the actual origins of the myth and what it meant. I think it has significance for people in terms of whether or not supernatural stuff exists. That's beyond my pay grade.
I will say I had a student do a speech about like Native American like folklore and like kind of like cryptid kind of stuff. And she was like frightened to talk about some of these things.
I've encountered that too in some of my creative writing classes. I haven't given like a direct prompt to write a horror story. I do remember, I think it was the Skinwalkers myth. And like that student would not talk about them and would say like, we don't do that. And guard against it. And it was enlightening.
And I think it's even taboo for them to like say Skinwalker. Like some of they were like taking that pretty seriously.
Yeah. So I'll refrain from that from this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys really weaseled out of that.
Yeah.
Hey.
You really made an effort to not say you can have realities that are different than others though. Like you can say, hey, I don't persist or exist in this world. I recognize that other people do. Just saying, you're allowed a stance.
I appreciate the boilerplate language that you gave us as like the go-to there. Okay. All right. I don't exist in this reality. That'll be the phrase from now on.
That's how Steven works as a co-host is he makes himself sound like official when he asks you to justify.
Just tell me if you believe in Mothman.
Yeah, I believe Mothman.
Have you seen that
exists.
statue?
I've been to it.
Yeah.
It's in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. So whenever I drove to North Carolina for that job interview, I stopped there and looked at it. And it does have a very sculpted butt.
Mothman's been doing some squats.
He's been doing some squats.
I guess that's how he like launches himself.
Oh, yeah, all right. What do you got for us, Matt?
Did you hear that, guys?
Yeah.
So we're going to do a second rendition of Real or Fake. So Nolan obviously wasn't here for the first one.
Right.
Do
Okay.
you guys want to work together on this, or do you want to go head to head?
Let's go head to head.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I've generated a list of real and fake horror movies, and I'm gonna read the description to you, and you're gonna tell me if you think the movie is real or fake.
Okay.
So whoever gets the most points wins, and you won't be able to, reclaim your championship or defend it for another year. So
Okay, hold on. Do we both answer every time, or is it whoever answers first?
no, just you both answer.
All right,
It's
cool.
not a race. You can think about it.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to give you a movie description, and then you'll decide real or fake.
All right.
And then I'll let you know if it is a real or fake. So the first one is called Meat Radio. A small town DJ discovers his station signal is transmitted through the remains of a dead cow buried beneath the transmitter tower. Every time he plays a song, something inside the static growls back. Imagine Pump Up to the Volume, directed by David Cronenberg.
So I'm going to say fake, but I desperately want that to be real.
I don't want that to be real at all. I'm saying fake. I'm doubling down. Can I get double points?
No, okay. If you claim double points,
I'm claiming double points. One time, it's this one time.
No double points, Steven.
Oh, okay.
You get 0. Actually, you both get a point.
Oh, okay.
So that is fake.
Nice.
Apparently, this one fake came out in 1984 called Meat Radio. All right. So next movie. This one's called The Night Watcher. A lonely security guard on the graveyard shift starts getting walkie-talkie messages from himself from 1 week in the future. A slow burn psychological thriller that turns into a time loop horror.
That sounds like
That's
frequency.
I want to say that's real.
I'm going to say it's real too.
Guess what?
It's a spoof on frequency. I should have known it was too similar.
There must have been. Yeah,
There's so many rip-off movies though.
Yeah, I've never seen Frequency. This one was called The Night Watcher. Apparently, I love how even the fake ones, they give dates when they come out. This one came out in 2021. It was a COVID classic. All right. Next movie is called Anguish.
So it wasn't real.
It was not real.
Oh, man. I would watch that,
But
though.
we're still tied.
Yeah, you're tied 1-1
okay.
right now. So this one is called Anguish. An optometrist and his hypnotized daughter commit eye-themed murders while a movie audience watches, only to realize the film itself is watching them.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm all right. Real on that one.
Fake.
I don't know how I'm going to do this because
we're both
Nolan,
right.
Nolan, you're correct.
Woo!
Steven, you're wrong. So
I had to switch it up.
congrats, Nolan. That is a real movie called Anguish that came out in 1987.
Nice.
So
I like that idea.
I imagine it's very campy because of when it came out.
Yeah.
Like the filming style and whatnot.
Like what machine watches? Who's the audience? Who's the watcher?
That also kind of reminds me of 1984 in a way. Like, I don't know, like the surveillance of it.
Yeah. There's this, I don't know what you would call it, you'd call it like an art house movie or something, but there's it's like the peculiar lives of the bourgeoisie or something like that, where like there are these rich folks and then it turns out that their dining room, they keep trying to have this meal and it's a stage and they just figure out that, people are watching us. And it was, interesting. I had never seen the actual movie, but it's just
The
been
Truman
referenced
Show.
a bunch.
Oh,
The Truman Show also kind of operates.
that's a classic.
like that. Yeah.
That one's kind of scary too.
What was
It could be.
there was one like Ed TV, one that like ripped it off.
Yeah.
That but the guy knew it was basically like a reality TV show that we would see now because the camera crew followed him around as opposed to building like a whole.
Sounds like an
studio.
MTV thing.
Yeah, but I think it was called Ed TV.
I want my MTV. Okay. So next one is called Deadstream. A disgraced YouTuber tries to rehab his image by live streaming an overnight stay in a haunted house. He mocks the spirits and they answer. Found footage with a wicked sense of humor.
That one feels Real.
Yeah, because I know there was that. There were a couple of movies that have a similar kind of setup with like influencers and Zoom calls and stuff like that. I think, I'm going to go real too.
You both going real?
Yeah.
Good job,
nice.
guys.
Okay.
So it's what is that? 3-2 now.
Yeah.
3-2.
Wow.
Nolan with the lead. So Steven can technically tie it.
Tiebreaker, we have to fall asleep
or maybe if
watching one of the movies.
If you want to, this last one could decide it. If you want to do it that way instead of leaving it a tie, then having to wait a year.
Let's hear the question.
All right, so,
and I'll wager points, Jeopardy style.
Okay, we can do that. Fair
All
enough.
right.
I mean, we make the rules here. This is not an established game show.
Sure.
All right, so this one is called The Cradle Tapes. A couple finds home videos in their attic showing a baby that isn't theirs being raised by people who look exactly like them, but older. As they keep watching, the tapes start predicting their future.
All right, that sounds really cool. I'm going to say fake. Are we wagering
points?
I'll wager a point.
He's wagering 1 point. I'm going to say real, and I'm wagering 3 points.
Okay, Nolan, you are officially the crowned winner of Real or Fake Game Show Part 2. It was fake. That sounds cool.
Yeah,
but it was fake. Would you watch any of these?
I would definitely watch that last one. And can I see the sheet again? All right.
That optometrist one piqued my interest, as they say.
Anguish sounds like a cool one. I don't know about. I've never been a super big fan of the found footage. Some of it's cool.
I watched like a VHS movie like every week.
Okay,
it's been a reoccurring theme.
I have to get
some
on
of them
those.
Some of them are cool. There's a lot of them. I didn't realize there were so many of them. And one just came out like this month, VHS Halloween.
Sure.
All right, so before we get talking about movies, we're going to take our first music break of the session. As always, make sure you're supporting the artist, even if the music's free. You can find the Bandcamp links to each artist in the episode description. This first artist is Witchtrial, and the song is Hammer on the Hearse.
We have to
That was Witchtrial with the song Hammer on the Hearse. And I think that's a good starting track, mainly because by the time you're listening to this, it's going to be Halloween day or night.
Which trial?
Witchtrial.
Cool.
What trial?
the Witchtrial.
Oh, okay.
Which?
Which is on first? No, who's on first?
Who's on first? What's on second?
Classic.
Yeah. Which? Like the sandwich shop?
So where, do you know where they're out of?
I have no clue. I don't remember, honestly. Okay. What I end up doing is I scroll through, I go to Bandcamp, I go to advanced search, I select metal and surprise me.
Nice.
And I just scroll until I find something that's pleasing to my ears and hopefully it's pleasing to your guys' ears. So they're kind of like kind of like a heavy metal, speed metal band with some like extreme tendencies.
Nice.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just go over, I'm going to summarize the movies that I watched that we're not talking about in great detail. So this week was pretty highly rated for the most part. I watched Midsommar. I gave that a 5 out of 5 skulls.
Nice.
I watched Smile. I also gave that a 5 out of 5 skulls. It was just really enjoyable. I watched The Long Walk, which it's the Stephen King book they just turned into a movie. It is debatable if that counts as a horror movie, but it's very horrific.
Is that the one with the hobbits?
No, there is no. Why would there be hobbits in a Stephen King movie?
It's the one where they walk the whole time.
No, that's that. You're talking. I teach.
Are you talking about an unexpected journey?
Yeah, one.
That's the title of like one of the Hobbit movies.
I teach media law, and you're getting into some gray area territory.
I'm just saying. You said they take a long walk. So
oh yeah, they walk until there's only one left.
A mountain.
No, they walk until there's only one left, and if you don't continuously walk for 3 miles per hour, you get 3 warnings.
Does one of them have a ring?
No, they get shot in the head by a carbine.
Right. So
That's
it is
pretty terrifying.
It is very terrifying. Again, I don't know if you like. It's a Stephen King book. I don't know if it's like a straight horror. It's kind of drama horror, I guess. I don't know. I give that a 4 out of 5 skulls. It was good. They changed some stuff from the book into the movie. They always do that. I watched Good Boy, and I gave that a 5 out of 5 skulls.
You know, someone was telling me about that, and it sounded like the most unhinged piece of film that I've ever heard of.
So I ended up.
Can you explain it? Do you know about this?
Yeah, it's from the perspective of the dog, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like an experimental dog film that ended up being scary.
Yeah, so it is a horror film. The dog is the lead character, and there's always been that, like, I don't know, that idea in the paranormal stuff where they say like animals are better at seeing like paranormal,
yeah, sure,
than humans. I just thought it was really cool. I listened to an interview. The director of Good Boy was on Last Podcast on the Left for an interview, and I'm just so surprised because they didn't use like a trained show animal. It's just the dude's dog. The idea came out of COVID time. So it's filmed like at the dude's house, right? So they didn't use a trained animal, but the animal seemed like a professional animal, like that you would use in a film, like Air Bud, for example. It was great. I loved it. The perspective is just so different. You don't see animals really being the lead in this kind of movie. And it was great. So I gave that a 5 out of 5 skulls. And then I watched, lastly, another VHS movie. This is VHS Beyond, which is supposed to be based kind of on alien stuff. And again, I gave that a 3 out of 5 skulls. I think the VHS films, like every single one of them, are like 3 to 3.5 out of 5. They just, I don't know, it just feels that way.
Are they anthologies?
Yeah, they're anthologies.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
They're kind of found footage style.
All right, yeah. Like different directors and stuff?
Yeah, different. Each one has each little section has a different director, and there's like it's like a story inside of a story. So like in the first one, these guys break into this old guy's house to look for this specific VHS tape that they want to sell. And whatever's on it, it's like worth money. So like they plug in a film, and then you watch a film inside of a film.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then it goes back to the main story, and they're still looking, and they plug in another film. So they're kind of like that. There's always some story that's happening outside of the individual segments.
Okay, cool.
So this one's kind of alien based. I gave it a 3 out of 5 skulls. Again, they're all, I mean, I would recommend watching all the VHS movies. They're all cool and unique, and you get to see work from other directors. But none of them are going to blow your mind.
Okay.
But they're all good. They're good. They're solid.
So what does this put you at? So those are the films that you watched this week, minus your 3 picks, right?
Yeah, minus the 3 picks. We're going to talk about those in more detail.
So what is your total number of horror films you've watched this month? Because this is it. You're done now.
Yeah, I might have to like make that a social media post because I forgot to sit down and like tabulate.
Is it more than 31?
Yeah, and we still have tomorrow, Halloween.
Oh, you're gonna what? You're gonna cozy up
I might
with your pumpkin.
with my little pumpkin, or my mom's little 6-pound Trewini. I might cuddle with
Is its
her.
name Pumpkin?
No, that's Abigail.
Abigail.
Or we call her Abby.
Dogs can get nicknames on holidays, just like people.
But yeah, she's not a pumpkin. She's mean.
Okay.
She actually bites me all the time.
I've only watched about 60 minutes of a horror film this month.
No, you watched one with me.
Yeah,
And-
that was
and
about. Wasn't it about 60 minutes?
No,
It
that
was
one,
short. Wasn't it short?
That was like 90, maybe.
Yeah, I was about to say like an hour and a half or
Oh,
something like that.
what?
Yeah.
Okay, it felt really short.
Yeah, it's main probably because all them plot holes.
No, well,
Or
well,
I don't know.
Tomatoes.
That's what happens when you take a book and turn it into a movie. That's kind of what that we're talking about. The Ritual, by the way. Nolan, we were at Nolan's house when we watched that movie together. And it's the only movie that we all watched together.
and it was like the atmosphere was cool. A lot of things weren't explained though.
Right.
And they could have done a better job.
Yeah, it had all the things you want in a horror movie, just the narrative had issues.
That being said, I have watched, and I mentioned this a couple times to both of you on the podcast as well. I have watched exclusively The Walking Dead all month.
How many seasons?
Okay.
I'm on season 9 or 10.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, that's so much.
It's a lot.
How many did they have?
There's
Like
11.
12? Oh, 11? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm
Okay.
almost done. I didn't do it though. I didn't make it all the way through.
How do you feel about the evolution of Rick as a character?
One thing that I kept pointing out to my partner as we were watching The Walking Dead is that Rick consistently has basically 2 colors of shirt.
Yeah.
There's black
Tan?
shirt Rick,
Uh-huh.
in which case he's
Or white.
doing something pretty dangerous, typically using a hatchet or freaking out,
Uh-huh.
right? And then there's white shirt Rick, who's saving the day. He's being the sheriff. And then there's gradations. No one else in the entire series really changes costumes except for like in between seasons.
Uh-huh.
Like, hey, we got a redesign. But he, depending on what episode, depending on his mood, depends on if he's black shirt or white shirt Rick.
I never made it that far into The Walking Dead. Maybe I need to give it a try, but have you made it to like those dudes that look like stormtroopers?
No.
There's like a faction of dudes that like have armor on that look like stormtroopers.
Oh, yeah.
Those
Yeah.
guys.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
That's actually a good costume design.
Yeah, well, if you're trying not to get bit,
Right.
like I would wear
Sure.
something like that.
That makes sense.
How do you guys think you would fare in a zombie apocalypse?
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I mean,
Because I've thought about this.
host rules. I'm just a guest here.
And Nolan, you go first. How
All
do you
right.
feel?
Well, I don't know. I'm not very resourceful. I feel like I would last longer than I expected to, but probably turn into one of those running zombies.
I think Nolan is just too nice and he's going to get bit trying to help somebody.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably going to get bit trying to help a zombie.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
gonna
no, you're okay. You're
gonna-
redeemable.
I'm gonna eat Steven on day 1.
Yeah, that's cool.
Day
Not,
1.
not even
Yeah.
zombified. Just
not-
get
yeah.
right to
We're just going to get into cannibalism instantly.
Wendigo.
Oh yeah, you're gonna turn into the Wendigo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think that because of my media knowledge in this world of horror, especially now because I've spent the whole month of just on this, I think I wouldn't make as many dumb choices as characters make in the stories. Like during the the initial stages, I'm not gonna try to go to Walmart and grab canned goods and just get mobbed by zombies. Like I'm gonna do some hiding. I'm gonna go out to the countryside. I'm gonna wait and then sneak into places.
Yeah,
You know?
sneaky.
I'm just imagining like a spoof where like somebody door dashes, but the door dasher is a zombie. And it's like kind of like what is that Will Smith I Am Legend?
Oh,
where,
I
like,
Am Legend.
They have their own society.
That's also a book
Yeah.
Or there's
and
that
a Robert
one,
Redford movie.
There's that one zombie movie, Warm Hearts. Have you
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
that one?
Yeah. I haven't
Have you-
seen it, but I know it.
I think so. It's like a romance, right?
Yeah, like basically, like the zombies have their own kind of society going on. Or they're kind of, I wouldn't say it's society. They just kind of like walk around in the same places and stuff.
So
But they become human again.
looping back here, you think ingesting 50 hours of horror films that's got you're like, you got an edge in a horror situation? Are you more prepared for a full-on poltergeist or zombie now than you were 30 days ago?
Well, a poltergeist, you can't fight a poltergeist.
You can't fight a poltergeist.
Well, I guess what you could do, like,
You've watched all these documentaries.
yeah, if you've got a,
you can't fight one poltergeist.
if you've got a poltergeist situation, that's when you like burn the sage or you ask like a priest to come in and bless, and then that usually does it. But fighting a zombie is like an actual physical thing, where like it's trying to eat your flesh off your bones.
Okay, so you're
The only problem is like I'm not one of those guys. I don't have like a bug out bag and a weapon just like ready to go. Maybe I need to create one of those things.
I got one.
But I will say, like, I think I'm a pretty resourceful guy. I'm not as in shape as you or Nolan. That's my big downfall. Like, so if the zombie apocalypse is like the 28 days later infection, I'm dead. I cannot outrun all those things. But if they're like Shamblers on The Walking Dead, I think I'm okay.
Sure. So is that a yes? All the films have made you more prepared for a supernatural.
Yeah, I would. I mean, you watch, a month of any one specific kind of media, you're gonna know more.
You gotta assume that some of that's gonna translate over.
Like if Nolan has never like hunted before and he watches like a month every single day, watches hunting stuff like for an entire month, he's gonna have a better sense of it. Like,
yeah. Have you hunted?
No, I haven't hunted. I haven't fished. I'm a pretty bad Okie resident.
Sounds like you're a good poet though.
Yeah.
Or that's not true. Walden was a big self-reliant guy, right?
If I watch,
he was getting his laundry done.
All right, never mind. That guy sucks.
But he was also very open about it.
Okay, well he's back in.
Yeah. Or at the very least, if like I'll use an example from Nolan's world. If I like ingest a month's worth of like hockey related media, I'm gonna have a much better idea on how hockey works.
Sure, yeah.
I might not be able to physically like skate and like shoot a goal, but like I'll know all the rules and like all the terminology and like I'll be in that world.
Yeah.
There's a theory
you'll be
that.
conversant, like, but it's like the Scream logic, like the guy, right? The guys in Scream. You don't want to do this in a scary movie. Like this is what always gets the character down, right? And then when they're actually in that situation, they follow that horror movie logic kind of thing.
Yeah,
right. Is that media cultivation? Is that what we're sort of talking about?
Is precisely what we're talking about. Like,
cool.
But the question is, are you attuned to the discourse around it? Or are you attuned to the actual activity? So I don't know. Like you could, watch 500 hockey documentaries, and then you're not going to be no Nolan Gretzky over here.
Well, no,
very far from anything I am. I'm a shambler.
I'm just curious.
That's not what cultivation theory posits, though. All cultivation theory posits is that if you sit down and are exposed to a certain type of media over time, that's going to shape your worldview. That's all it says. So if I watch a month worth of Nolan Gretzky, if Nolan sends me videos of him doing hockey stuff every day for a month, that's going to shape the way I view Nolan. That's all media cultivation.
It won't be favorable. At the end.
I don't know. I think after like a week, I'd be like, Nolan, stop sending me this.
Yeah.
Stop it,
I
Nolan.
like the idea that he's sending it to you.
He's just like...
every morning,
at
7
2 in the
a.m.
morning, not even 7. He's doing that like 3 in the morning after a Schlitz.
I'll be the next Pavel Barber. I don't know. He does like a bunch of trick shots.
Oh, cool.
All right, so the first movie. So I've kind of gone over my other movies, just listing out what I've watched for the week. So the first movie I want to talk about just a little bit in depth, and I have no idea if these guys have seen any of these movies, but we're gonna start off with Dr. Sleep. Have you guys seen Dr. Sleep?
I have not seen it. I know that it's a sequel to The Shining.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, Dr. Sleep is what happens with Danny Torrance, the young boy in The Shining. He grows up, becomes an adult,
and he's broken and crazy, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. He ends up recovering from alcoholism because of his daddy. So yeah.
I mean, The Shining is such a like foundational film. Why would you even try to follow that up? And did they pull it off?
Yes, they did, in my opinion. So this is my 5 out of 5 pick for the week.
Oh, okay.
5 out of 5 skulls. I've read The Shining, I've read Dr. Sleep, and I've seen The Shining movie, and I've seen the Dr. Sleep movie. And I think it does a good job putting a bow around the Torrance family in terms of what happened in The Shining. The Shining, for some reason, the name of the hotel has escaped my memory.
Shoot.
I know I've been there. It's in Estes Park, Colorado, but in the movie, the hotel makes a reappearance in Dr. Sleep. So it was directed by Mike Flanagan. I don't know if you know.
Midnight Mass?
Yes,
right?
Midnight Mass, same guy. So it's based on the 2013 novel Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, obviously, produced by Trevor Macy and John Berg. So again, it is a follow-up to what happens in The Shining. It was released on November 8th, 2019. For those of you keeping count, it's 152 minutes. So it's at that good like feature film length. It's not too long, not too short.
What do you think? Just to get some reference there, what's a long movie?
The Lord of the Rings, any one of them.
Okay.
I mean, those are like what 2.5 to 3 hours long. Like each.
Sounds right.
Yeah, like the theatrical cut, and then like the extended is like 5.
Yeah, they're long.
What's a short movie?
I'll tell you one that's not short enough. Skinamarink.
We'll
We'll get to that. No, what's a short, like a full length movie?
Yeah, I mean something you go,
hour?
that was quick.
Yeah, I think the cutoff.
Like an example.
I think the cutoff is like 45 or 50 minutes for feature length.
Yeah.
I forget what the actual like official cutoff is.
Yeah, I would say anything less than an hour is like, why would I go to the theater for that? I just like want to watch that at home.
Well,
That's
they would package them with like the newsreel and with the short film before it and maybe an animation. And
Yeah. But yeah, so like an hour, I would say is like, for me, that feels like a pretty short film. Most films that I watch, I feel like are always in that like 60 to like hour and a half, hour 45 minute range. Like that's pretty common.
Okay, just because it was bothering me, I looked it up. So the actual hotel's name is the Stanley.
The Stanley, that's right.
In the novel and in the movies, it's the Overlook.
The Overlook, that's right. I don't know how that escaped my mind, but I think it's cool because the Overlook comes back in Dr. Sleep, and that's where like the major battle happens at the end of the film. So if you don't remember The Shining, you know, Danny Torrance is the young kid in that movie, and he has psychic abilities. They call it the Shine. He shines. That's why it's called The Shining. Ewan McGregor plays Danny Torrance in Dr. Sleep, and I think he does a really good job with it. And he's really the only cast member that I automatically recognized. So he plays Danny Torrance, the adult version, obviously. It's not Ewan McGregor trying to play a little boy, which I think would be a great
If any
comedy.
actor could do it, probably Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. So he plays Danny. I really enjoyed the pacing of the story. Basically what ends up happening, and again, this is all going to be spoilers because I'm talking about plot, and you kind of have to. Danny ends up connecting mentally with this child who is like a really strong psychic, and also because of her psychic powers, this group of like psychic cannibals or psychic vampires like also connects to that energy. So
are they psychics and also vampires?
Yeah, that's how they feed. They feed
So
off of
they
that shine.
feed on psychic energy.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not like psychics that also happen.
But they do have psychic powers too.
So when they feed off of the energy, are they killing the person or just getting rid of the shine?
They're killing them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
So what they end up doing is they're this nomadic group of like psychic vampires that are all very, very, very old. They've been around for a long time. His name is Grandpa Flick. He's like the oldest one. Like they mention in the book and in the movie that he's been around since like ancient like Rome or something like that. So they sense the character's name is Abra. She's the young psychic girl. They can like feel her psychic energy, and they're kind of like a moth to a flame. They're honing in on her, and like, you know, Danny's trying to help. They connect mentally, you know, with their powers. So they're trying to track her down, and they end up like having this grand battle at the Overlook Hotel, where Danny Torrance ends up unleashing all of the ghosts from The Shining movie. The blowjob bear and the
There's
naked,
a bear?
Oh yeah, the guy in the bear costume. Have you not seen The Shining?
I mean, would you think less of me if I said no?
A little bit.
That's
I've
classic.
never seen it.
Yeah,
I've never seen it. You know why?
The naked woman in 237 that comes out of the bathtub. So what Danny Torrance so when the movie starts, I don't remember his name either. The guy that gets killed by Danny's dad with the axe.
The actor is Scatman Crothers.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
That's not a real name.
No, he was really good in that movie too.
Yeah. So he ends up becoming like a ghostly, I don't know, advisor for Danny as a kid. Like Danny's able to see him because he's got those powers, you know. So he gives him advice and he teaches Danny how to like create these like lock boxes in his head, and he's able to like, I don't know, because those ghosts like they still reach out to Danny even though he's not at the hotel anymore when he's a kid.
Okay.
So he creates these boxes in his mind and traps those ghosts in there. So what he ends up doing is they lure the leader of those psychic vampires to the Overlook for the final battle. And then in his mind, he opens up all the lock boxes and all the malevolent figures from The Shining, like basically kill the vampire ghosts, but they also basically like kill him too. So, spoilers, but yeah, Ewan McGregor, Danny's character, dies and becomes like a ghostly advisor for Abra.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a fitting ending for the character.
Yeah.
Man, that thing sounds, everything you described sounds awfully like an anime.
It could have been an anime, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
I really feel like you just described some Shonen Jump, Dragon Ball Z shit.
Yeah, it's a real. I would say I think when we started this series, the big question I would always ask is, Steven, would you watch this? Because we found, like, in the first episode, I interviewed Steven, and we find that Steven just hates like horror movies. They're his least favorite. So when we started this, I was like, by my description of this, would you watch this film?
It sounds cool.
Would you watch this?
It sounds like people with magic powers zipping around and stuff. Yeah, I'd watch a wizard. I'd watch any film with a wizard in it.
I will say, yeah, they are pretty wizardly. I will say that there's not really much gloop. Like it's
okay.
I think
no gore.
It's rated R.
Wizard powers.
But you do see some children get like tortured and killed, which is sad.
Okay,
that's pretty brutal.
Yeah,
because the psychic energy that they're feeding on is mainly coming from like kids that shine. So they're able to. They have a person in their little nomadic group that's able to like track them. They call him Crow Daddy.
Crow Daddy.
Yeah, that's his name.
Are you sure this isn't an anime?
It's not an anime, I promise you. I mean, if it was, I'd still watch it.
Why is it called Dr. Sleep?
Because
you didn't describe any part of the PhD process.
So that's actually a really good question, Steven.
Actually, maybe you did. This idea of draining psychic energy. Old, established people stealing your ideas until you're dead. Maybe it is about getting.
For once in this
PhD
entire
dead.
series, you've asked a singular good question. He is called Dr. Sleep because of his psychic, he still retains his ability.
Who, Danny?
Danny, yeah.
Okay.
So he ends up working. So he becomes an alcoholic and he's traveling around all over the place. And he finally settles in this little tiny town and he becomes a person that works at a nursing home. And there's a cat at the nursing home that ends up, the story goes that if the cat comes into your room at night and sits at your feet on the bed like you're supposed to die. So what Danny does is when that happens, he goes into the room, he like calms the old person down with his psychic abilities, and then they are able to pass away peacefully. So they call him Dr. Sleep.
Oh.
So because he's able to help them like cross over.
You know, it's good that he does something good with his anime powers.
Yeah, like he goes from like being very chaotic because the Shining fucked him up. Like what happened in that film, like in that story, it fucked him up. And he becomes like an alcoholic like his dad. That's the reason, like one of the reasons his dad goes crazy in The Shining is his alcoholism. And then the ghosts get in and like make him go mad. So
with the way that they did the way that they did Dr. Sleep, do they treat it as a sequel to Stanley Kubrick's Shining or the sequel to the book? Are they more faithful to the book?
To the book.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would say it's mainly because it's coming from Stephen King himself.
Mm-hmm.
So the book is much more detailed on, because I've read the book and I've watched the movie. The book is way more detailed, obviously.
Yeah.
The film, like any film that's adapted from a book, which is why we gave The Ritual such a bad score. We haven't read the book that's based on that movie, but we just assumed they cut some important stuff out because we were kind of confused.
Mm-hmm. You don't get the kind of interiority.
Yeah,
necessarily. I
would say that even if you haven't read the book for this movie, you would still be like, "Oh, that was a great movie." Like, cool. It's not a necessity. It is kind of nice because they reference things that happened in The Shining. Like if you've seen The Shining and then you watch this, there's going to be things that click better.
Oh, cool.
But you don't need to read either one of the books.
Okay,
it would be fine.
All right.
Neat.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
I honestly think
I remember seeing a poster for it and thinking, That's a nice poster.
I don't know why it took me so long to actually sit down and watch it, because I bought this book like when it came out and I loved it.
Yeah. I honestly, the only Stephen King that I've read cover to cover is Different Seasons. The 4 like little Shawshank Redemption is in that, App Pupil, and
I have that one. I haven't cracked it
Body.
open. And that's the bad thing about being a book collector, is like I have a lot of Stephen King's work.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to most of them on audiobook. Like I don't sit down and read very much anymore. I know it's hard on my eyes, and I'm kind of an active person, so I prefer the audiobook anyways.
Yeah.
But on my bookshelf, it's like 99% Stephen King.
Nice.
Anytime I'm thrifting and I'll go to like a antique mall and somebody's got a book stall, like I'll go try to find Stephen King books.
Nice.
Same with John Grisham, and I'm not a huge like law guy, but I like John Grisham books mainly because he used to be a lawyer, and like the stuff in his book is like factually like pretty how it happens.
Yeah, that was actually that's my. I don't know if he still holds this place, but when I was growing up, that was my mom's favorite author. She had like Pelican Brief and Runaway Jury and all those. We're getting pretty far afield of horror, but
yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. Our law system in the United States is pretty horrific, so maybe John Grisham counts.
Fair point. Fair point.
All right, so before we get into the next movie, we're going to take another little music break. So this band is called Magi, and the song is called Imago.
Oh, more wizard stuff. Cool.
Wizard fight. All right, that was Imago by the band Magi. Again, support the artist. Links in the description. All right, so that was Dr. Sleep. I gave that a 5 out of 5. It seems like the boys thought that was a pretty good rating. Let's talk about the middle of the road movie. I picked Longlegs. Have you guys seen Longlegs?
That's a new one, right?
2024.
2024.
Haven't seen it, but I know it's a Nick Cage vehicle, right?
It is. It's the second one of this film series.
And it is not about spiders.
No. It is. It could have been so good. Like the hype around Do you remember how much people were hyping this movie?
I had students talking about it, and I was fully convinced it was about the spiders.
No, I wish it was about spiders.
Daddy long legs.
How about instead of
those things aren't
spiders?
spiders.
How about instead of they're actually not. They're insects. They're not
What
spiders.
the hell are you guys talking
They're
about?
it's a different kind of arachnid because they're called a harvestman.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're not spiders, bro.
What the?
They don't even have 8 legs.
What kind of 2-bit foolery are you guys trying to pull on me right now?
Steven has an education out of UConn. That makes sense.
Right, where we learn about spiders. I don't know where you guys learn about things. Obviously, it's a spider. Walks like a spider, talks like a spider, is a spider.
Yeah, but a spider has two of the how do they describe it? Like 2 segmented body
How about
parts. and
this?
this
We
just has like a hub.
50th in education.
How about this? We get Daddy Longlegs in here as a guest, and we ask him what he thinks he is.
That's what I assume.
You tell me they ain't spiders?
It's going to sound like.
Yeah, that's probably what it would sound like.
So forget about spiders and think about a puppet creator that has like ties to Satan.
Okay, honestly, I think you just described spiders.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do. Like they got string coming out of their booties. And
They
build
got
things with
strings.
them.
They move in kind of a weird, janky way, and Satan has got to be attached to poisons and venoms.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, snakes.
I gotta hold on. I gotta Google the spider thing. You keep going on.
All right. So it was directed by Osgood Perkins, credited as Oz Perkins. I don't know. Maybe people just don't call him Osgood these days. Produced by Dan Kagan, Brian Kavanaugh Jones, and Nicolas Cage, who stars in the film. We have Micah Monroe in the film. Nicolas Cage is Longlegs. He's the bad guy. I think it's interesting that the plot is interesting, and it could have been really good. But it just got hyped up so high, and then I sat down and watched it, and I was just kind of disappointed. So I gave this one a 3 out of 5 skulls. It didn't live up to the hype, so let me just kind of discuss the plot really quickly and maybe some notable features. So Agent Lee Harker is serving with the FBI. She's investigating these occult, like infected family murder-suicides. So for some reason, like these murder-suicides happen on like the 14th of every month or something like that because of Longlegs and his like culty satanic stuff that he's doing. He's building these puppets, and you don't find this out until like the end of the movie. He's building these puppets, and there's like, because of the witchcraft he's doing, there's like an evil spirit in the puppet. And when it gets delivered to the person's house, it like the spirit like infests the father. And the father like will end up killing like the mom and the daughter or the son or whatever. And it's just really, I mean, it's predictable. And I think Nicolas Cage's character could have been so much more. Like he's really creepy when you see him on camera. They distort his face, and like he looks like Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. If Dee Snider from Twisted Sister did like 100 years of heroin, but also 100 years of bare knuckle boxing.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dee Snider from Twisted Sister has done 100 years worth of heroin.
He may have. He's in like physically really good shape.
I bet.
Yeah, like he does not look like your typical heroin addict. And also he fought against that Tipper Gore. So I won't stand for decent. I don't know. He could be a piece of shit. But
I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm not out here making commentary on Dee Snider too much.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just very let down by the movie.
Do you think on average this particular movie is better than or worse than your typical Nick Cage fare?
I'd probably say better because Nick Cage has been in a lot of turds.
Better than Con Air?
Yeah, I think
What?
I think the story of this movie is the narrative is better than Con Air.
It's also kind of cool seeing him as a villain.
Yeah.
What about the vampire one? Ren Fair or something?
Renfield.
Oh, Renfield. Okay, yeah. I
He
thought
was-
you were talking about there was a
Twilight?
no. When he was younger and he's like a yuppie.
Oh, is that the one where he like goes crazy?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, yeah.
It's Nick Cage, so yeah.
Yeah. So the only thing I really like about Nick Cage is every year, at least once, there's this one compilation on YouTube where it's like every Nick Cage freak out, and they like supercut that into a video. Not the bees.
The last Nick Cage film I saw was Pig.
Ooh.
I haven't seen that one. I did see it's on Hulu. I think,
It's a
right
little
now.
odd.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. It might even be horror adjacent. He does weird stuff though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about Nick Cage earlier. I think it was episode 2 because he was in Color Out of Space.
Oh, okay.
And he's
right.
also kind of villainous in that movie. Like he doesn't intend to be, but the way the alien encounter like changes him, he becomes kind of a bad guy.
He's a Capella.
Yeah,
Nicolas
Coppola.
Cage. Coppola. That's
Coppola.
it.
Oh.
Yeah, he changed
Yeah.
his last name because of showbiz. Like Coppola is not really like a
Oh, there's Francis Ford Coppola.
Coppola. Is
Coppola?
it Coppola?
Coppola.
Coppola? Well, I'm pretty sure he changed it to Cage because he wanted to be more like marketable.
Oh no, he
Yeah.
wanted to distance himself because he didn't want to be seen as a nepo baby.
Oh, well, that's the same thing. You're just saying
Sure.
it better than I
Yeah,
am.
well, that's true. It makes you more marketable if you are not known as a nepo baby.
Yeah.
But you know, my dad was a blacksmith. I'm a blacksmith. My grandson will be an actor. Something like that. So 3 out of 5. Doesn't
Yeah.
sound bad. I wasn't fully pulled into that.
Yeah.
I stopped paying attention while you're describing the movie to Google spiders.
You know what? You're fine because, again, like that 3 out of 5 rating for me is just like that middle of the road. Like I watched it. Like,
Maybe you won't return to it, but it's like you didn't waste your time. that
yeah,
kind of
like,
thing.
yeah, I didn't hate it, but like, I'm not going to pick this one again. I actually, you mentioned what other Nick Cage movie? Somebody's,
Renfield?
yeah, I was about to, you made me think, like, I wish I would have just watched Renfield again because that was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, so I liked Renfield much more than this Longlegs.
What was the other Color Out of Space?
Yeah, Color Out of Space is
It's like a Lovecraft.
yeah,
thing,
it's
right?
a Lovecraft
Yeah, it came
story.
out last year, right?
2019.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, last year for people that time travel.
Yeah, it came out in 2019, and Steven has read it. I have not. And when I described what happened in the movie, Steven was like, "This brings up no memories for me." So I think they may have taken a lot of creative, like,
Yeah, some liberties.
Well, it's supposed to be a trilogy too, right?
It was supposed to be a trilogy, and it got canceled because I was really confused about the ending. I was like, "This makes no sense to me."
Okay, there's I think this is a good movie called Annihilation. That's based on, I don't know if you guys did that for this.
Is that the Arnold Schwarzenegger one?
No, it's Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. Okay, never mind. Take that back.
And
I see the resemblance.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's really cool. I think it's they're in Florida. There's this thing called the Shimmer. They go in, everything starts changing around them. But it was a similar situation. It was supposed to be a trilogy because there's a trilogy of books, but they decided to stop after one movie. So it's like really cryptic in the ending. So it seems like that at least with Color Out of Space was like that.
Yeah, I think that's the case. That was also my middle of the road movie for that week. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Cool.
Visually, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a very good looking movie. But Nick Cage is, I would say he's starting, at least in the past, 5 years, has been doing more horror stuff. You got the
He's
Longlegs.
always been into kooky stuff.
Yeah, Longlegs, Color Out of Space, Renfield.
I don't know if he still does, but for a long time he was kind of well known for owning like the most haunted house in New Orleans.
And he's also the only reason that the Ghost Rider movies happened.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, he basically funded those, and I think took a very large hit.
Yeah,
by
I don't
doing
think it
so.
was particularly successful.
No, and it could have been awesome because I remember as a kid having a Ghost Rider like action figure, and it was my favorite.
Ghost Rider kicks ass.
Yeah, the story is great. The movie's not so much. So we are gonna jump into another music break. It should be our last one. We'll see how it goes. We're gonna keep it a little bit local with this one. This band was out of Tulsa. Some of my good friends played in this one. They are called Heemeyer, kind of like that guy that built a concrete-covered bulldozer and went after those buildings in Colorado. So this is Heemeyer with the song Misery Under Hoof. All right, that was Misery Under Hoof by Heemeyer. And we are back to talk about our last film of the episode. And I picked this one because it was polarizing, it seems like, at least to me anyways. So we're going to talk about Skinamarink. Skinamarink came out in 2022, written and directed by Kyle Edward Ball, produced by Jonathan Barkin, Edmund Recca, Joshua Buchhalter, and a bunch of other people apparently. It's a Canadian film, so we are getting into international waters here. The other two, not so much.
Maybe not waters.
International lands.
Right.
I don't know. They'll be the 51st state, remember?
Oh,
Yeah, we should stop saying that.
Yeah, you know what?
We said it one time.
I just think it is.
Is that still keyed up? Or that's old news, right? No one's that's not even on the
He just
headline.
kind of forgot. He's got dementia. He kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Canadians haven't though. They're still kind of riled up about it.
I bet. I would be upset if somebody was like, "I'm going to invade your home" for like months and months and months. Like, hey, I like your house. That's my house now, Steven.
Come on by.
Speaking of which, Steven is a homeowner now. How would you feel if I just like came over and just claimed your house?
It'd be nice to see you. Yeah, come by.
Okay.
You can sleep there for as long as you need to.
What if I just sleep there forever and tell you that you can't come back in?
Oh, I guess we'll have to fight to the death.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so this is a Canadian film, and I will
keep in mind. I know where all the stuff in the house is.
I'll find it. You don't have that much. It took you 3 seconds to move out. You don't have that much stuff.
I crushed it.
Yeah.
But I'm really worried about how much stuff is in the house right now. I'm like, where did all this stuff come from?
It's actually somewhat connected to this movie because everything starts disappearing, or like windows and doors and stuff.
Yeah, like we'll get into the plot in just a second, but that is true. I'm going to give this movie props. So they spent, and I don't know the transfer value of Canadian dollars compared to American dollars. They spent 15,000 Canadian dollars to make this film and got back about $2 million US on that.
Okay. I think it's pretty close. I think 15,000 Canadian dollars is more or less 15,000 US dollars.
Depending on when, because the exchange rate fluctuates.
Yeah, 2022. So
I mean, it's not like double.
But so I'm assuming they made a lot more than they spent on this
great.
film. Yeah, and that's not always the case. Did you fart again, Steven?
No, I don't know why you keep. Are you projecting?
I'm projecting,
buddy.
I'm projecting my farts.
You'll know.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they got a big return on this, which at the end of the day, a lot of artists, they make art for the love of art, but you got to pay your water bill.
You got to pay the water bill.
You got to pay your electric bill, rent, car payment, student loans.
New house.
Yeah, new house. So Nolan brought up a good point. I think the plot is interesting. It could have been, I don't know. It could have been so much more for me. These kids, they wake up, they're alone in their house when they're not supposed to be alone. And then they find out like all the doors and windows are gone. And it's just like this horror that's based on that. And the visual style, where I give this movie props. So I gave it a 1 out of 5 skulls because it upset me as I watched it. I do give it props for the visual style. So it was filmed in the 4:3 aspect ratio. It kind of evokes that like home video kind of look. It uses heavy film grain, so it's like VHS like distortion. You can almost consider this almost like a found footage style like film. Very few clear faces on camera. It's usually like blurs, and I don't know. The distortion, I think, builds tension. This whole movie is like, if somebody were to build sexual tension for you for like, how long was this thing? Like an hour? So imagine somebody builds sexual tension on you for an hour and then just stops and goes home.
You're saying there's no money shot.
There's no money shot. There's no finish.
That's a weird description of it, but
yeah. So Nolan,
I haven't seen this. Nolan, you've seen this film.
Yeah, let us know.
I actually really like this movie.
Is it experimental?
Yes.
It sounds a little experimental.
It,
But one thing I'm picking up from your description, Matt, though, is that it sort of sounds like you hate it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But it also sounds like maybe that's the point. Like
Could
when
be.
like when people watch pro wrestling and the bad guy's on there and they're like, man, I really hate this guy. He's a bad wrestler. And they're like,
Well,
no, that's the point.
I didn't feel what is that called when you build a relationship with somebody you don't know?
Parasociality.
So I'm not building a parasocial relationship with Macho Man Randy Savage. We talked about this I think last week about how narrative is important in storytelling.
Sure.
That's where this movie loses me. It has like 0.5% narrative.
Okay. So it is sort of just designed to create uneasiness.
So that's what I like about it, honestly. Like when I was the one who even suggested this one to you all when you were building up the randomizing wheel or whatever it was, and it's like a childhood nightmare. Like everything, it's the atmospherics I think are really cool. The visual style is really unsettling. You get like these just shots of ceilings and door frames and Legos on the floor and the old TV that's just playing a bunch of old cartoons throughout the whole thing.
You do get some random whispers in there. I remember one of them like being like, put the knife in your eye or something like that.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. I will say I love the way it looks. I think it's like created really in a cool way. I don't think that's what I was expecting because I didn't research any of these movies before I put them on the list. I don't think that's what I was expecting. And it like caught me off guard.
So it is in many ways like there's I understand some of your description of it where there's some frustration inherent to the movie. I do get the idea that like maybe it could have been more impactful or at least less divisive if it were short form. But because it's stretched out for whatever it was, like 100 minutes, there aren't any jump scares. There isn't a change in perspective. We do get the parents talking early on, but they don't really return. It's just the kids and then just the one kid, the boy. And there was this actually pretty interesting, I thought, interpretation of it. Cause the boy falls down the stairs. Like he was sleepwalking, he falls down the stairs. And it was like put the knife in your eye thing and all of like what's disappearing is like he's in a coma. And there was something I'm probably misremembering this, but in the analysis of it that I saw was that it was something associated with a treatment for seizures. That it was like putting a knife in your eye like that. And it could be simplified that way. And then it was basically this kid is in a coma and he is dying. And then at the end, he is kind of given license by this weird sort of face thing that's in the darkness of the house. It just keeps telling him, go to sleep, go to sleep. And then I forget, it's like over 500 days, it says, right? It's like 500 some odd days. So there are some people who think, not that the director is necessarily given any credence to this. I haven't read anything or seen anything that says he does. But that is what essentially is happening. That all of this is, since it's after the fall down the stairs, like experienced a seizure, went back to the hospital, and he is dying. Which I thought was really cool. Compelling, I should say. Not like cool for a child in a coma. But
this just in, Nolan supports children falling down the stairs.
Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
I don't. But I just think it's tough. It's tough to get an experimental movie over. So I can see how this could be as poorly received as it has been, at least by audiences and by
it seems like it was relative. I mean, the name is familiar.
Yeah.
I think it hit some mainstream success, so it couldn't have been.
I can't remember its ratings.
They made if you think of like the return on investment, they made a killing off of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't remember what, like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll invest in like Rotten Tomatoes if I'm trying to figure out what I want to watch. Typically, if it's got a high Rotten Tomato score, it's usually pretty good. I don't remember what that is for this movie, but it seems more like kind of like an art film than like a traditional like.
Right. So like some people they'll play Planet Earth, right, on the background at a party. Is this something that you would put in the background of a party at like a Halloween party?
Yeah, a Halloween party might add.
Would this sort of make sense just to add some ambiance without having to totally engage with the with the thing?
Yeah, you'd probably creep a few people out who just stumble in and go, "Oh, what's this?"
Yeah,
it's a Halloween party.
Well, yeah, because you don't
creeped out on purpose.
You don't have to worry about missing the story or missing the dialogue, because that doesn't really there's not dialogue that you have to worry about.
And also there's because like the sound mixing is what it is, like the because I watched this on YouTube, they have subtitles embedded into it, like you don't have to turn on the captions.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Well, that's interesting. I think that's the only one that you've watched that didn't have like a strict Freytag's, pyramid.
A what?
It doesn't matter. Didn't have like a strict narrative shape.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there were some movies that like just failed in having good narrative, but like this is the only one that like didn't follow like the traditional like story.
All right, I was able to pull up the Rotten Tomatoes for what it's worth. So the tomato meter is 73, but the popcorn meter, the fan, is 44. So there's a split on who thinks this is worth their time. And
like critics really like it, but like regular old people are like, this sucks.
Yeah,
pretty much is what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it. I think I might give me like 6 months and I might watch this again.
Right. You got to
like,
stew on it.
Yeah, and I'll watch it again and see if anything changes in my brain.
Well, it sounds interesting. It also sounds maybe too creepy for me.
I don't think it would.
Yeah.
I think I'm interested in the idea, but maybe not.
If you could watch The Walking Dead, you can watch Skinamarink.
It's a different kind of scare.
Cannot stop thinking of Skinamarink or Dinky Doo.
Yeah, that's
actually. Sorry, I forgot about the fun trivia section that I wrote in my notes for this. So, Kyle Edward Ball, who's the director and the writer, he edited this film alone on a basic home computer. So he filmed it and edited it all by himself.
Yeah. Good job, buddy.
The title Skinamarink actually references the 1958 children's song Skinamarink, a slightly different spelling, frequently used on the Canadian show The Elephant Show, intentionally chosen to evoke nostalgia twisted into unease. So I guess that might be the song you're.
Yeah, that's the song
singing.
probably.
Sing it for us, Steven.
Skinamarink-a-rink-a-dink, skinamarink-a-doo, I love you.
Bop.
Oh, that was nice and bassy.
That was really nice. Also, I noted that most of these sound effects were recorded in his own house using low-end equipment, like purposefully, to preserve analog feel.
Sure.
So, I almost forgot about my fun trivia.
Well, it sounds like an interesting film. I like the idea that there are experimental horror works out there.
Yeah, you know what?
There's a whole, alternative media community producing movies that you would hate. Did you hate it?
I mean, I did not like 1 out of 5. I mean,
did you give anything a 0? Did it occur to you a 0 was an option?
You know what? I actually wrote 0 in my notebook. Whenever I finished it, I was like, "Fuck this movie." But then I sat down and thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I actually really liked the way it looked.
You hear that? He wrote 0, reflected,
you said,
and gave it 1 point.
You did send that text message that's like, I'm going to punch whoever.
Actually,
this.
I said a pox on your family.
Oh yeah,
or something. Yeah, something like a pox on you, Nolan. No, it's not I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen. So I will say that.
And again, like it's going for a different kind of scare because there's nothing here that's a thrilling or exciting kind of scare. It's just dread. And I think for what it's worth, they do it pretty effectively. Because when I saw this, I was alone in my house in the dark, just sitting on my couch with my cat wandering around.
Oh, mittens.
And it was hard to shake.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to very quickly, because I forgot about my fun trivia for Longlegs, and I just want to mention this. Do any of you guys remember the Jean-Benet Ramsey case?
Oh, yeah.
That is actually the inspiration. So this was Osgood Perkins' like childhood memory of that.
Oh, wow.
Is what influenced like Longlegs. And I just wanted to bring that back up because I think that maybe puts a little bit more perspective into Longlegs.
Yeah. Yeah, super creepy.
Yeah, very creepy. Especially when you think about the dolls. You got to see the movie. The dolls are very creepy. And when I think about that on top of like the Jean-Benet Ramsey case, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah.
So we're 31 in. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, from the Matt Talks Media crew. Happy Halloween. 'Cause
Halloween.
Happy
you'll
Halloween,
be
guys.
hopefully listening to this on Halloween Day.
Do you have a favorite all month? Which is the one that you thought, yeah, that's it. That's my new go-to.
Well, I've given a lot of 5s.
You have actually.
If I had to just pick, you know what? I think I'm going to go Weapons.
Weapons.
Oh.
Yeah,
that
Weapons.
keeps popping up on my to watch list. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Yeah, Weapons was really good. And also just shout out to Good Boy because it's the most different one.
Yeah, that sounds odd. A PG-13 movie from the perspective of a dog.
I don't know if it's PG-13.
Yeah.
Is it PG-13?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Classic horror film, PG-13.
They do a good job building like suspense and like anxiety. You can really feel like the dog's emotions, which I think is pretty cool.
Do you have Skinamarink your least favorite?
No,
That's not your least. See,
no,
you really hyped us up with that 0.
No, I think I would prefer to watch Skinamarink again over Terrifier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
I just don't. I don't want the gore and the goop.
I can't do it with those movies.
Do you have a favorite?
I don't know all the ones you've listed here.
Or what's your favorite like horror movie in general?
Favorite horror movie in general? Exorcist is up there.
Oh, that's classic.
I will say I don't really like this series, but when I saw it in theaters, it was a really cool experience. The first Saw movie was one of the best in theater experiences.
People really got into that for a minute.
Yeah.
I just couldn't handle that dude cutting his own foot off.
It was,
I was like, oh.
Yeah, like looking back on the movie, it's like, that's
Could you cut your own foot off, Steven?
You know, given the right tools, sure.
How about a skate, a hockey skate?
A hockey skate? I don't know if skates are that sharp.
Could you cut off your foot with a skate?
They're blunted, aren't they?
No, they're not. More hockey players should wear neck guards. I'll say
right.
that.
Well, that's a horrifying movie right there. Where that guy gets slit open like a pig.
Yeah, Clint Malarchuk.
Yeah, he's alive, so you can really describe it graphically.
Let's get him in on the show.
Yeah, they're really sharp. They wouldn't be able to cut through bone, though.
But they're not like blades.
They're blades.
Oh.
How do you think they glide on the ice?
Oh, okay. Well, figure skates, I think figure skates are blunted.
No, they're sharpened.
Have you never seen Blades of Glory? They cut off that woman's head.
Yeah, that is true. Huh. That's odd.
The structure of a figure skating skate's different because it has like these little toe picks, so you can do like the quick turns.
Cool things.
Yeah, so like the different sports have different.
But it's not like a knife.
Structure. It's an edge. Like you can cut something with it, and people unfortunately, they get injured.
All right, so here's what we do, Stephen.
I didn't know that.
Next week, we're going to come into the podcast studio with skates on our hands, and we're just going to start swinging them at each other. Let's see who gets cut.
Right. No, hey, listen, I believe you. If that's how
Nolan will be the ref.
I'm not condoning this.
Do you have a least favorite horror film that you've ever seen?
Okay, so there was this really janky, I think it was an Italian movie that was on the shelf in Best Buy.
It's Anthropomorphagia.
That one. Anthropophagus.
That one
sucks. They have these moments in it where it's like, oh, that could have been an interesting story to tell, I suppose. And there's some scary things about it, but it's just gross.
That's the one where the guy just like follows the people around and like kills them and eats them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in like Greece or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Italy. Yeah.
Greece or Italy, I forget where, but it's like some Mediterranean seaside town, and like
that movie was banned for like a really long time in quite a few places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was the selling point on the DVD box. So my brother buys it and we watch it, and it was just a waste of time.
What a bummer. What a bummer.
Yeah. But also I would say not my favorite horror. Well, okay. I'm going to add 2 more movies to this. The new Nosferatu I really like. And it's not really like a horror movie. There are things in it, but I think it has one of the coolest horror scenes. That movie I talked about, Annihilation, has this scene with a bear. If you ever seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it's like scary, but like also like in an existential kind of dread way of what this thing is and what it's saying. It's pretty brutal.
So I had a good friend of mine that was in a band called Redneck Nosferatu, and I think it was because like one of their members like passed out on the couch with his like hands like this, and then he like woke up like raised up like that, like Nosferatu does. Also, speaking of bears, I saw a YouTube video today where a guy literally just like walked up to a grizzly bear and like rushed and he just like kicked it. Like out in the middle of nowhere, he just kicked it and they got into a fight and he lived. And the only thing that happened was he like got a cut on his hand. I was like, how? Some people get all the luck. Some people get all the luck. Matt Talks Media does not endorse kicking wild bears just to see what happens.
Right.
I don't want anybody trying to sue me for saying that you should go fight bears in the wild.
I don't think anyone's going to do that.
I don't know. I mean, it's not. We haven't gone viral yet, but maybe that's the thing that
that's
makes
the
us,
thing. It is.
Yeah.
You guys aren't going to believe this. There's these 3 professors in Oklahoma that are advocating for bear kicking.
Yeah. And if you can find a bear in Western Oklahoma, like that would be even more reason to do it.
I think you can find them out there in Eastern Oklahoma. But
they have black bears
down
down south, down east.
Find them out over here.
Yeah. Maybe if they like come in.
If you do find one out here, you might want to kick it. It might be
a kickable bear.
Yeah.
It
might be a rabies bear or something. You might want to kick that thing hard.
Well, I think, wasn't there one that like came down from Colorado into the Panhandle?
I wouldn't be surprised. Like the Panhandle is like, that's different.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, exception proves the rule.
Yeah, sure.
But I know for a fact, if you go out to like southeast to Eastern Oklahoma, green country, like they do have black bear out that way.
Okay.
Yeah. And also alligators.
Gators.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, down in the corner where like we meet up with Arkansas, like the Arkansas River down there, like has a lot of alligators. Thank you so much for tuning in to our weekly 31 for 31 episodes. I think we're going to be done talking about horror movies for a while. I know we're going to do this again next year. We'll see if, horror movies become a media object that Steven and I discuss in the future. Thank you so much, Dr. Nolan Meditz.
Oh, thank you for having me, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Mr. Steven Doughty.
Hey, thank you very much. I've learned a lot about horror films, and maybe I'll watch one tonight or tomorrow.
Do it.
For Halloween.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
Scary, scary, scary.